AI and AI agents are coming for people's jobs. We've been hearing this for years. It's actually happening. We're hearing about major tech companies like Facebook laying off workers and replacing them with AI. But what if there was a project that allowed you to harness the power of AI and AI agents to actually go make money for you in the metaverse so that you can focus on actually living your life and doing things that matter, like spending time with family or whatever it is that you're into. So in this video, we're going to be talking about a project that does just that. It's called Native, and I genuinely believe that within the year, before the end of 2025, that this project will 50 to 100x. So per usual, guys, this is going to be a very in-depth fundamental analysis. Grab a cup of coffee, take some notes. We're going to go through the problem that they're solving. We're going to go through the white paper. We're going to go through the team. We're going to go through the tokenomics. We're going to go through liquidity. I'm going to show you where to buy. We're going to go through everything you need to know. And then at the end, I'm going to give you the pros and cons and tell you if I'm buying this project or not and why. So per usual, none of this is financial advice. Consult with your own financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Let's get right into it. So to start, what is Native? So Native is a digital city built on the Base network. You guys know I've been diving into Base and talking about Base. Just go through some of my old videos. It's built on the Base network where humans and AI agents called dots coexist in economic simulation. So it's a little bit different than the metaverse. We're going to get into that. So humans can sponsor dots who autonomously participate in the economy, generating passive income through tokenized goods and services. Now, this project is designed for a post-AI world and is built on the belief that instead of AI taking our active income jobs, we should give them work to generate passive income for us. So Native generates revenue through token appreciation, liquidity provider fees, passport mints, dot mints, and property mints. And we're going to get into all of that stuff. All right, so now that you've had the soup and salad, let's dive into the meat and potatoes and start unpacking this white paper. So they have a white paper for humans to read, and they also have one for AI agents to read. I thought that was pretty cool. So let's go into about Native. So it says every commodity, good, service in the city of Native has an on-chain equivalent. For example, coffee, electricity, bots, etc. In order to participate in the Native economy, citizens buy, sell, and trade these tokenized goods and services. This includes the agentic citizens, which are dots, who, like I said, are fully autonomous and independent agents sponsored by human citizens. So these Native coins are launched both by dots autonomously. Let that sink in. AI agent, based off of what you tell it, can launch tokens by humans and by humans who are seeding the world with content. So unlike other token launcher platforms, there's zero burdens on the Native citizen to dev or shield the token after launch. So they say here, put another way, Native takes on the burden of providing value to the token. This leads to a unique incentive alignment where people are incentivized to launch tokens that usefully seed the world. I've said this many times, if incentives aren't aligned, it isn't gonna get done. And this is why whenever a government takes over a job or an industry, it's always pretty shitty because government workers aren't paid on performance, they're paid by the hour. Incentives aren't aligned. You're not gonna work harder if you're gonna get paid the same amount. The brain is lazy, it's always trying to be efficient. And if you wanna read more on that, it's a good book called Naked Economics that dives into this concept in depth. I digress. So it says Native is the primary token in the city of Native and also represents the project to outside speculators. When dots sell Native coins, they gain ETH in return. They can then use that ETH to buy and hold Native. This acts as a sink for Native and effectively removes that amount from the circulating supply. So it makes the tokens more scarce, which is good. More scarce the tokens, it's easier for the price to go up if there's an increase in demand. Native is also needed in order to mint passports, own and sponsor dots, and property in the city of Native. Like the Native coins, Native also generates LPs as it's bought, sold, traded, which generates revenue. Okay, let's talk about these passports more. So they have these on-chain passports and they're minted through the Native app. In the stimulation, it gives humans special rights like sponsoring the dots and owning property. Just like, you can't own a property without a driver's license in the United States. So they go on to list a number of unique functionalities available to these dots via custom-built tools and services. So they can buy, sell, and trade tokens via Coinbase's Agent Kit and 0x API. They can wrap and unwrap ETH via Coinbase. They can launch tokens and claim fees via Clanker, more on Clanker in a bit. They can retrieve Farcaster information. They can retrieve Native economic information. They have lore memory provided by their sponsor, you, in an ongoing manner. They have a strategy provided by their sponsor in an ongoing manner. And they're given traits and personality provided at creation. This is better than having an employee, because it's just like, well, assuming this works and they gain adoption, someone's going to do it. People get tired. They need to take a lunch. They have emotions. They might be having a bad day. AI don't give a damn about none of that. Your AI is going to do what you tell it to do. It's not going to get jealous of other AIs. It's not going to get tired. It's not going to need to take a lunch. It doesn't have emotions. So I can see this working. This is where the future's headed. And it is kind of scary, but you might as well capitalize if you can. They also have this cool thing called PANS, which is an in-feed mini app generator for Farcaster, which allows dots to autonomously generate mini apps as well. And this is done by tagging panes or mini app, the Farcaster account, alongside the prompt. I made a video about a project called ALTCOIN where you can essentially create a token from a tweet. This is essentially the same thing. So as this continues to develop, you're going to have AI agents being able to create applications within this app. It's way more advanced in the metaverse. So now let's cover this opportunity section. And this is cool because there's a good book called Narrative Economics, and behind any bull market, there's always a narrative behind it. And this project is standing between 4 different narratives. So it's just like, even if one pops off, this can gain notoriety from it. If you have 4, it just increases the chances of the token pumping. So you have the GameFi narrative, social tokens, the agentic economy, and autonomous worlds, which is kind of like the metaverse. So in regards to the agentic economy, Native will capture value from rapidly growing autonomous AI agents, and the market's projected to exceed 50 billion by 2030. You have GameFi. They're expected to have their market at 160 billion plus by 2033. Social tokens, and then the Farcaster social layer. So Native is first building on a rapidly growing decentralized social protocol that saw crazy growth in 2024, with additional growth on the horizon with the launch of the new Coinbase wallet app featuring a Farcaster-powered feed. The combined TAM, which is total addressable market across these intersecting markets, represents a multi-$100 billion opportunity, with Native uniquely positioned to capture the value as the platform where humans and AI agents interact within a tokenized economy. So I want to talk about platforms for a minute. Guys, historically, at least in technology, and probably everywhere, platforms have been the best investments. Just to give you a few examples. Facebook is the largest advertising platform. Google is the largest search engine platform. Amazon is the largest e-commerce platform. Looking at Apple and Google, they have their App Store and their Google Play Store, which is a platform for people to create things via applications. Ethereum is the largest smart contract platform. Look at Solana. Look how well layer 1s perform versus any other cryptocurrency except for Bitcoin. And then if you just look at the internet made all these things possible. So other than the internet, because there's no way to own the internet, if you were to invest in any of these platforms that I just listed from the beginning to current, you would have made life-changing money, right? So I always have my eye on the hunt for good platforms, because they create economies, because people go and build things on top of them, and it increases the value of the platform. So the technology, it says Native operates entirely on the base chain. I'm very close with the Coinbase team and have contributed code to their repos. I've also received a developer grant earlier this year as proof of that work. We're going to get into the founder in a second, but it's good that he's connected with Coinbase, because, hey, guess what? If this project ends up being legit, which I really think it is, almost know it is, but you can never really say that just means that he has someone at Coinbase who can probably help him get this token listed. And we all know about the Coinbase effect. Once projects get listed on centralized exchanges, retail will flood in. Some people just buy projects just because it's on Coinbase. They don't even know about it. So that is another thing that can help pump the price. And it says here the tokenized assets are currently built using the Clanker protocol, and Native is already the 3rd largest Clanker interface to date, after Clanker itself and Banker. However, and this is huge, Native does not have a strong dependency on Clanker, and it retains the option to move Native-owned contracts at any time. All right, guys, so here's the Clanker website. So Clanker is basically an AI-powered token creation platform operating on Base, and it's designed to simplify the process of launching ERC20 tokens. So by integrating with Farcaster, they allow users to deploy tokens by simply tagging Clanker in a post and providing the token details, similar to LaunchCoin, similar to Pump Fund. And the platform automates the creation of Uniswap v3 pools for each token, ensuring immediate tradability. They also have this fee sharing model where 40% of trading fees are allocated to the token creator, and then 60% goes to the platform. And going back to incentives, this incentivizes user participation. So here's some data points, and a lot of this is outdated, but over 200K in interface earnings since March 18th. Feel free to read this white paper and click these links. I'm trying to keep this video somewhat short. They have over 72 ETH and 7 billion native tokens claimed from fees. They had $1 million in 30-day volume. They have 75,000 plus holders of the native token, and we're gonna look at that as well when we go to the tokenomics. 893 passport holders, and I'm sure that's increased since then. And 462 native coins have been launched by roughly 150 alpha users. He also goes on to list the corporate structure and team. So Birthday Labs is the holding company behind Native. It's a Delaware-based corporation that's owned by another company, which is then wholly owned by the founder and his wife. So this is a solo founder, guys. So interesting stuff about this. I'm gonna get into this here as well. No equity of either company has been given away to advisors, investors, or other employees. Birthday Labs has no token yet. So then he goes, the founder is doxxed, which I like. If someone is willing to put their face on a project, it shows that they're serious about it, unless they just don't care about their reputation, which most people do. So it says he's the only team member of Birthday Labs. He's led teams and built companies large and small, from LinkedIn, where he was a product engineering lead for talent solutions, Adipar, and then he had his own startups as well via Exec and Bunches. So all the development, marketing, operations is handled directly by him. It's crazy what AI can do. You cannot do this 3 years ago. And he's saying here, he not only put his own financial capital, but his social capital as well. And here's all of his links. So here's his LinkedIn, Derek Brown. He's based out of Tennessee, Nashville. And here's his experience. So we have the engineering lead at LinkedIn, where he was working there for 1 year and 6 months. Adipar, and if we just look at Adipar, because what does this company actually do? They're a global tech and data company that helps investment professionals provide better guidance for their clients. They have between 1 to 5K employees, 54,000 followers. So this is a legit company that he was the VP of, right? And they're constantly posting stuff. 9 reposts, 60 likes. So this isn't just like some small time company. And then he started his own company. He was the CEO of this company called Exec, and they got acquired in 2019. I don't know how much it was acquired for, right? I did try to look it up, but I couldn't find it. It said he initially joined as a CTO and became the CEO during the journey. And then he founded this other company called Bunches, which was like a chat for like sports companies. They're not running anymore. I looked at the Twitter. They haven't posted since 2024, but that's when he said he stopped working on it. And then Birthday Labs, we already talked about how this is the holding company for Native. And then here's his Twitter. Not a whole lot of followers, but it's pretty active. Gets lots of views and engagement, as you can see here, right? He's always tweeting about the project, which is a really good sign from the founder. It doesn't matter how much you believe in the project. If the founder don't believe in it, it doesn't matter. Going back to the white paper. So let's go over some of this stuff. Monetization, value accrual, and native tokens. So we already talked about how it was launched on Clinker. It says here, he personally owns 2.5% of the native supply in his fully doxed wallet. He gives you the wallet address on Basecamp. A portion of this was locked for a year at token launch with a monthly vest. This was all purchased on market. He gives the address for the native treasury, which was funded from his own purchased native and is owned by Birthday Labs for operations. And it says here, as of today, native is required to participate in the city of native. As more people want to participate, native becomes more valuable over time because more people are going to have to buy it. Additionally, dots are taking native out of circulations, which leads to appreciation of the token. We already covered these 4 streams of revenue from the coin, passport mints, dot mints, and property mints. And then here is the roadmap, right? Because still have a ways to go, but when you're investing, you're investing into the vision, right? And then there's going to be volatility, but if it works out, then you make great money. So you just want to check as many boxes on your investment criteria list as you can, and then you just kind of let the chips fall where they may and let time do the heavy lifting. So it says here, I work in a 4D development process where each item is in a particular stage. He has dream, ideation, define, specs, develop, code begins, deliver, ship, and follow up. Each quarter has at least one top level goal. So he has this set up to where the roadmap indicates which stage he's in, And he has all this stuff posted here. So dot creation for passport, on track. You got behind, right? Ahead, behind, on track. And you can just look at, what's on that roadmap, right? Some of this stuff has been delivered already. And he says here, I'm aware that funding request details, hiring plan, financial plan, etc. are not present in this document. Happy to talk through this information in a follow-up meeting. So I want to go through some of these FAQs. You're a solo founder, isn't that risky? He goes on to say, so is having more than one founder. He's probably just joking. But he says he's not alone. There are countless people around him that he, seeks counsel from. Right, and he is planning on scaling the team after he have post proof of concept. He wants to establish the core mechanics and culture before hiring. So he's a solo founder for now, but not forever. Here's another one. Once you guys go to the website, you'll see what I mean. It says here, for non-crypto users, the biggest obstacle is onboarding. Today, you need to connect an external wallet, sign up to Firecaster, connect your wallet to Firecaster, buy native, mint a passport, all across these different applications and websites. It's too much. He says their onboarding estimated Q3. Their new onboarding estimated for Q3 will allow users to get an embedded wallet, onboard directly to native with fiat, and then receive a Firecaster account automatically and mint a passport, all in the mobile first, single, easy to use flow without ever leaving the native app. So instead of going to these 3-4 different platforms, they're aiming to have it all in one place. And I think that's good because the confused mind says no. The easier you can make it to get onboarded, the more users you will have, right? Because only the evangelists are going to go through these crazy steps. And the fact that they already have this many people with these many hurdles actually says a lot. I really believe this project is undervalued. They go on to talk about how they're going to prevent malicious AI behavior, Sybil attacks, and then they give all of their websites here. So you have the native Twitter account. Again, not a lot of followers, but they're building, guys. And they get pretty good views and interactions for the amount of followers that they have. As you can see here, they give away their Firecaster channel. I don't have a Firecaster account, but I did look at it. Pretty active as well. But they do have a YouTube channel as well. And I went and watched all of these videos, and I like what I see. I didn't watch the super long conversations, but I watched these. And I would encourage you guys to watch them too. They only have 150 subs. But it says a lot when a company has all these different social footprints, so to speak. All right, so here we are on the website, native.fund. You got the total native gross domestic product at over 705K. And these are all the tokens that either people or AI agents were creating that gets used within the actual game, like airplanes, birds, pills, like all kinds of stuff, right? This stuff, it goes on and on. You can scroll down. And it also has it indexed over here where you can search by different things. Gives you the top coins by volume. I don't think the game is live yet. You can't see like any cities or anything like that. But you can launch a coin, right? You click this, and it's a video on the YouTube that goes through all that. You have to have a Firecaster account. You give it a description, a category, a symbol, and then also you get your passport, which you have to, both of these you have to pay in native. So again, it seems like they're in beta. But looking at this thing early with how many people are using this and holding the tokens, I like the growth metrics that I'm seeing so far. Okay, so now that we have a full picture as to everything about this project, who's behind it, the most important thing, or one of the most important things, let's look at the tokenomics. Because like I always say, doesn't matter how good a project is, if the tokenomics are shitty, it will hold the price down, doesn't matter how much it goes up. All right, so if we come here, you can see that they have a market cap of 4.675 million, and the fully diluted valuation is 4.7 million. So it's only like 100K in tokens that has to come onto the market. Love these tokenomics. It's not perfect, like the FDV and the market cap aren't the same, but it's 100K away. And guys, a $5 million market cap is so small. Just to get to 100 million is like a 20x, right? And this is a base network token. Watch my video that I made a few weeks ago talking about liquidity and how it's flowing into Base and how I expect that trend to continue in this bull market. Like this is going to be Coinbase's Base Network's first bull market. So people are going to be investing on Base just because Coinbase is going to make it super easy. And a rising tide raises all ships. So I think just off of that, this project is going to get a lot of liquidity flowing into it, right? So I can easily see this project going to at least 100 million, maybe $1 billion in market cap. $1 billion market cap is not a lot in a bull market, guys. And to go to $1 billion from 4.6 million, that is a 213x. That's crazy. So that means just to get to 500 million is 100x. Very unique opportunity and great timing on this project. If you're watching this, you're very, very early. And if we look at the chart, you can see the token was released in December. They had a big pump, and you can see that it's been trending upward, right? Just trending upward. Down right now, but still overall trending upward. And as we go deeper into the bull market, I expect that to continue. Now, how you buy this token, they're both on Uniswap. You can buy it with Clanker and exchange it for native, or Ethereum and exchange it for native. If you buy it with USDC, you will pay slippage, right? And you can see that 99% of the volume is happening on native ETH on the base network, not Clanker. So you'll pay higher slippage if you purchase it with Clanker than if you would with ETH. So if you plan on buying this project, definitely use ETH. So if we come on to Deck Screener, you can see we're still early because the top trader only made 49K off of this project. That's nothing. Guys, if something goes from a $4 million market cap to 500 million to $1 billion, people are going to make millions. So the top trader only made 50K so far. Second one, 30K, 28K, 23K. Guys, this is a drop in the bucket. And you can see the holders. There are 78,526 holders. And you can see that most of it is in the Uniswap V3 contract. It has $728,000 in liquidity at a $4.6 million market cap. This is a unique opportunity because it's good to get in a project when the liquidity is low, because during the bull market, people are going to buy the token and then provide liquidity for it, right? So it's a fine line. You don't want to get liquidity that's too low because it could be a rug, but you don't want it too high because that means the price can't go up as much. The lower the liquidity, when the price pumps, it makes it easier for the price to go up. But you don't want too little liquidity, because if the price goes up, there's not enough liquidity, you can't even get out without experiencing too much slippage. So as you want to get in before the liquidity increase, before the price increases, but more importantly, before the liquidity increases. And you can see like the ownership percentage of the top holders, 4%, that's probably Derek, another 2%, 1%, a couple 1%ers, and then everyone else represents the 74+%. Guys, I am loving what I see. So now that we've went through everything, let me give you my pros and cons and tell you if I'm buying or not and why. So things that I do like, the pros. The founder has a great track record, right? We went through his stuff. Real traction, over 1 million in volume, 79K plus holders, 700K plus in interface earnings since inception, right? Users are active, not just speculating. They have a differentiated moat, like this dot system is cool because it's allowing AI agents to do things instead of having the humans control them, right? They're not just launching tokens, they're actually building behavior around these tokens, which is another step. I like the platform optionality. Even though they're currently aligned with Base, Farcaster, and Clanker, they're not dependent on any of them, and they can move their code to anywhere. They're compatible with any EVM compatible chain, so they're protocol resilient, and they have a clear business model and how they make money as a platform. We went through all those 4 ways. And I also like how they're capitalizing on 4 trends at the same time. It's like going to go fishing in a boat and you have 1 rod that represents 1 trend versus 4 rods. You're more likely to catch a fish. And they're more likely to catch a rocket and have this price pump, being that they're within these 4 major trends. Now, the cons that I don't like. Even though he said that he's planning on bringing people on, the solar founder risk is of concern. You know, he could get hit by a bus and then that would suck. The project would die probably, and it'll probably go to 0. I mean, unless his wife is just a genius and takes it over, but what if they're together and something happens? God forbid that it doesn't. But these are things you have to think about. And then obviously the complex onboarding, like having to go through 4 different platforms. Like it's not easy for someone who's not crypto savvy to interact with this platform, but in their roadmap, they're already planning on fixing that. So having all that said, yes, I have bought the project. I will continue to buy it. And before I wrap up here, if you want to get access to videos like this early, alpha like this early, learn how to manage your portfolio like a professional institution, like a market maker, so you can generate yields, so you can be always accumulating projects such as these and the other ones that I talk about on the channel, go ahead and click the link in the description. You have 2 options. You can either join our free community and see what the vibe is like, or you can book a free strategy session with me to see if our program is a good fit for you. But just letting you know, community did see this video a few days early, and that's one of the perks in being in our community. You know, I really feel like I do some of the best research on the internet, You guys tell me if you think I'm lying, and I'm going to be continuing to research altcoins so I can find the best ones that I think have the best chances of appreciating as we go deeper into the bull market, because the tokens that perform the best, the returns are thousands of percentages. We might have found one here, and I'm going to keep looking. So with that, if you got value, like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, help us reach 3K subs on this channel. But with that, I thank you so much for watching. I love every single one of you who tuned in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and trade safe.